Gaze reading where the greats drop by. Trendy authors tell us all the who, what, and why. Anyone can listen cause we're spoiler free. Gaze reading from Pulitzer stars to book club picks, where the curious minds can get their fix. So you say you're not gay, well that's okay. There's something for everyone. Gaze reading.
Hello and welcome to Gaze Reading. I'm your host, Jason Blitman, and on today's episode, I have my first returning main guest on Gaze Reading, and that is the delightful Catherine Newman, who talks to me about her new book, Wreck, which is, of course, the follow-up to Sandwich, which was one of my favorite books last year. Catherine is so funny and so delightful, and I love her so much, and I feel like this is the exact same thing that happened last time she was on the show, where I just felt like I couldn't edit much at all. So you're getting pretty much a raw version of what our conversation was, which is super fun. And my guest gay reader today is Runya Katz, whose book, Isn't It Obvious, is also out now. Both of their bios can be found in the show notes, and both Wreck and Isn't It Obvious are on sale. If you're new to Gaze Reading, welcome. And of course, if you're coming back, welcome back. Always a pleasure. And I hate to beg, but we're so close to 100 ratings on Apple Podcasts. So it would be so exciting if by the end of the year, we can hit 100 5-star ratings. So if you have it in you to head on over to Apple Podcasts and click the subscribe, but also 5-star buttons, that would mean so much to this little indie podcast, and hope to get other ears listening to Gaze Reading as well. We are on social media at Gaze Reading over on Instagram. And the show notes and the link tree on Instagram are filled with a ton of other information. We have merch. There's a Substack. You could watch these episodes on YouTube. There's, always a lot going on. There's, of course, the book club through Allstora. And I just announced the other day a new book festival that I'm producing in Palm Springs, the Palm Springs Book Fest. And I am so excited for that. That's happening the end of March 27th through the 29th. And the initial lineup is so exciting. We have folks like Claire Lombardo and Chris Whitaker and 3D Umrigar and Shobha Rao and Jonathan Capehart, and it's going to be so great. So if you happen to find yourselves in Palm Springs at the end of March, or have been looking for a reason to get away to Palm Springs, the end of March is a great time. You could find out more information about that at psbookfest.org. And, and you could find that over on Instagram as well. So there's just like a lot happening, and I'm so excited. And as always, I'm super grateful to have you listeners along this journey. So enough from me. Without further ado, please enjoy the fantastic authors, Catherine Newman and Runya Katz. Because all of this initial greeting each other is good content.
It's gold. The part where I'm like, I can't click on the video.
And I'm wiping my brow.
Your brow.
My brow.
You're so like Elizabethan.
I am. I'm dainty and Elizabethan.
Yeah, you need like a lace trimmed hanky.
Yes. Instead, it's a Kleenex from a box.
I understand. That's right. People like us. We keep Kleenex in business.
We do. Seriously.
I know. I have them all over the house, and every now and then I look, and you can cut this out of the recording, but every now and then I look, and I feel like there's like a box of Kleenex and like a big bottle of like body lotion, and I feel like, oh, does it look like someone's like jerking off station? And should I just make sure that I like separate those two things?
You're describing Franklin and my individual nightstands, because we live in the desert. Our hands are dry.
And runny noses. Same. I mean, I don't live in the desert, but like my skin is very dry. Right. But I look at it and I'm like, do the people who come feed the cats, are they like,
right? What 17-year-old boy lives here? Right.
Yes. And jerks off like in every room in the house.
You'll be thrilled to know that my reactive airway disease is alive and kicking today.
No.
Which, of course, this is very on brand for you and the book.
Yes.
I was diagnosed with asthma as a teenager.
Yeah.
Later in life, a pulmonologist was like, oh, you don't have asthma. You have reactive airway disease because you don't like regularly need to maintain the asthma. This is a thing that is triggered by outside forces. So, of course, it's not asthma because that's too regular.
Asthma's so regular. This is something really special.
Right. In fact, I would say it's rad.
It's very rad.
Reactive airway disease.
And are you part of like a Facebook group that's like rad? We're rad.
Living with rad.
Living with rad.
Or living rad.
Living rad. Oh my God. I turned out to have something called, this is really, really, again, feel free to, just edit this right out. But I turned
This episode is going to be 2 hours fully
among my many ailments, as you know, I have many ailments, most of them quite peculiar. I have something called no burping syndrome. I thought
that's not
that
real.
I was just like a person who didn't burp. Like I never burp. I can't burp. Like people who can like drink a Coke and burp the alphabet. I've been like, why can't I do that? I would love to be able to do that. I don't burp at all. Like I need to burp.
In your whole life, you've never burped?
I've burped like 4 times. and by the way, like I burped not that long ago, and I was like, oh my God, I burped. And only
put it on the
call the press.
Add it to my file.
Needless to say, there is a Reddit community, a vibrant Reddit community.
A no burpers community.
A no burpers community. Until you are diagnosed with these ailments, you don't realize that you're missing out on some of the great communities in the world.
I knew, because I know you, that we were going to have the best tangents today. I couldn't have dreamed. I couldn't have dreamed that we would have started with no burpers.
No burpers.
This is like, I'm done for the year. I don't even need to do anything else. This is the best.
Now you're going to go on the Reddit thread and you're going to be like, is one of these people Catherine? Maybe. Maybe she's in here describing her experience as a non-burper.
I will know because your handle is Runya Sandwich. So stupid. You're the first ever repeat main guest on Gaze Reading.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so honored.
I've had other
Thank
people
you.
back in like different capacities, but you just wrote the fastest, I think.
I'm so thrilled. I'm thrilled to be back. I have literally never spoken publicly about no burping syndrome. So this is a
Gaze Reading exclusive.
Is this branded content?
Oh my God, my rad.
No.
Oh my God, I can't.
Okay. Okay.
We have to be so serious.
So that
otherwise, I'm gonna have to edit out all my ratting.
Oh, you're ratting. Jeez.
How you doing this morning? Or I guess
good.
It's noonish for you.
It is noonish. I'm good. If you hear the cats, first they were complaining that I hadn't fed them. And now they're just as chatty, but they're talking about how good their lunch was. And they need to mill around, like reminiscing aloud about how great it was. So if you hear them, that's how they are.
Perf.
They're like, oh my God, we got cat food. It was so great.
Was it a little moist?
It was a little moist. We loved it. We were hungry, and then we got the food, and now we're so happy. Anyways.
Amazing. That's okay. They could mill about as much as they want.
Yeah.
Last time you were on Gaze Reading, I wasn't doing a video component. So now there's a video component, and people could see your gallery wall that was a hot topic of your first visit. We talked a lot about your gallery wall, which is still fabulous and Perry.
Thank you. Oh, also you didn't see the weird outdoor broom I was in the process of fixing with duct tape.
I literally wouldn't have seen it unless you...
Look, I'm like...
Thank you for calling it out.
Here.
It was the other way.
No, I can't. Oh my God, what is my problem? Oh no, it's going to get worse over there.
No, you're fine.
We're in a very narrow band of the part of my house I'm comfortable showing.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I also re-listened to our episode this morning, which I know you've never listened to because you hate the sound of your own voice.
It's true.
But I was drinking out of the same mug because I said I'm drinking out of a Captain Hook mug,
and there it is.
And there it is. Anyway.
Oh my God, that's
all.
so cute. And since our first episode, I have been to the place where you live.
Yes, that's true.
And so now I just have a different feeling. Like I was in that movie set town you live in.
I know.
Unbelievably picturesque, gorgeous. It was amazing. I came out of the airport. I was on the phone with Jason. Jason was picking me up. And he said, "What can you see?" And I said, "Oh my God, I can see a mountain." And he was like, "Not helpful." You remember that?
Yes, I do.
You were like, "That's not really going to narrow down."
One of the tiniest airports in the world, mind you.
Yes, it wasn't, but nonetheless, I had a hard
Still
time
hard.
finding you.
Right, exactly. My favorite story from that experience was you saying goodnight to all the writers the first night of the festival, going up to your room, and 20 minutes later coming back because you had FOMO.
Did I come back in like a Victorian nightgown?
Yes.
I'm sure I did.
Yes.
I know. I loved it so much. I had the best time, and I was a little nervous because I wasn't drinking, and I'm like still fairly newly a non-drinker, and I was like, oh, everyone's gonna be drinking, and I'm gonna just feel so weird, but then it turned out like a ton of people weren't drinking, and it was so fun, and so I like shyly went upstairs, and then I just couldn't stand to miss anything.
No, that was amazing. Oh my God. Well, it has been a time. And now we're back in the world of Rocky and her people, and I was so happy to see them again. In my imagination. And by them, I mean you and your family.
Yeah, I know. Let's just cut right to it.
I was shocked, and I don't take this the wrong way, but I was shocked that it made me laugh as much as Sandwich did. And
good.
Feel as much as Sandwich did.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, it wasn't a cash grab as far as I was concerned.
Oh.
You weren't like, I'm going to write a sequel to get that dough.
Oh, no. I just had more to say,
yes.
As is the way of writers, I suppose. Yeah, a little more to say.
So if Sandwich was reproductive mayhem on beach reed bread, what is wreck?
Do you have an answer to that?
God damn it. No.
No. I mean, I feel like I think of wreck. I don't have a quippy thing, but I do think of wreck as, I mean, it is like diagnostic mayhem, but I think of it as like really a book in every way about living with uncertainty. Living just like the human condition of not knowing what happens next, or what things mean, or living with something that you can't make an either or decision about, you know, and so the book is Rocky dealing with a bunch of different situations that she just has to like hold, even though that is not in her nature. Her nature is to solve problems, decide something's good or bad, and move on it accordingly. And in every way, in this book, she's being confronted with stuff where she can't do it.
I'm trying to come up with something quippy in my head.
Oh, I feel it coming.
I think what I got
Yeah,
is...
I have a pen. I'm writing it down.
is Grief of Plenty.
Grief of Plenty?
How's that?
Like Horn of Plenty, but grief of plenty.
Well, no, because like there's a section in
Yeah.
your book where
Yeah.
the word plenty comes up around Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
that could have been another title.
Yes. Plenty.
There is this abundance of what Rocky
I'm
has
writing
in
all
her
of this down.
life,
Yep.
right? And yet it's also about grief. It's, you know, in so many ways.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, plenty. God, that's so good.
Yeah, I would say
Ailments.
plenty of grief, but like that wasn't right.
Yeah, no, I know, right? That gives a different flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's so interesting. I didn't realize it was a book that's as much about grief as it turns out it is. Like somebody wrote me an email who read an early copy and said that she feels like the entire book is Rocky grieving her mother. And that just was such a trip to me. Like, it just as food for thought, you know, whether or
Yeah.
not I think that's what the book is about. Like, somebody thought that's what the book is about. And I just was like, wow, I really have to think about that. I don't know what I think.
Well, there's also just like the grief of your youth, or the grief of expectations of what you think your life is going to be, just like the grief of getting older, you know?
Yeah, there's that. There's obviously the, you know, her identification with the grief of a grieving parent, which is a lot, obviously, what that book is about, or that her weird kind of preemptive grief all the time about like who else is she going to lose and is she going to survive that?
Right.
Which I identify with very strongly.
It's like perpetually bracing yourself. Like that's just, yeah.
Yeah, but also try not to miss everything because you're so braced for the possibility. You know, I feel like hopefully he's not going to figure out how to listen to this because mostly he doesn't find stuff that's not just like a photo or a review in the Times. But my dad, hi, Dad, if you did figure out how to listen to this, but you won't. He's 93 and like he is going to die eventually. He's very healthy. And I just need to like hold that fact loosely and enjoy the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
And it's really a heavy lift, you know, just like putting something sort of to the side where you still see it in your peripheral vision all the time and just being in the here and now.
Two important facts from yesterday. I quoted you in therapy yesterday. And I also cried for the first time. In the years that I've been going to therapy, I cried for the first time. Yeah, because I was talking about my grandpa, who I loved so much.
Oh, Jason,
and I think
I'm
having just finished the
sorry.
book and then like talking, you know, reading about the grandfather character in the book and just like the journey he was on and sort of falling in love with him. And so what I will tell you, I'll tell you what I quoted you about, but we were just talking about life in general and sort of the navigating the abundance of both highs and lows. And this isn't giving anything away for the book, but it does happen to be a beautiful moment that comes later. I know most of my listeners read the book first anyway, but the question comes up of how will I have wanted to spend this time?
Yeah.
And that was so profound to me and just like such a great reminder of like, okay, when I look back, what will I remember? What won't I remember? And how do I really want to spend my time? So that's exactly what you're saying. You know that your father is eventually going to die because we all do. Do you want to spend your time worrying about it or enjoying your time with him? And it's a lot to hold. Isn't
it? I know. It's really true. I mean, I think about that with grief, and I think about that with anxiety also, where the way someone made a case to me at some point for taking an anti-anxiety medication, which I do take and would do free commercials for.
Me too. Let's co-commercial.
I just freaking love it so much.
Yeah.
Like I will take it forever. I have no interest in like not being on it. And I have plenty of anxiety. Believe me, it's not like it,
Yeah. I have an abundance.
damned
If someone
well.
wants anxiety, I have plenty.
Plenty
I
left
have
over.
plenty.
Right. But when somebody said to me, what else could you do with this time that anxiety is taking up? And I was like, wow, I could do a lot with that time. Like just that. And so it's a similar kind of question of like, how much more could you enjoy your life if you could just like hold the grief, but just a little to the side.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we're working on it. I mean, but it's like an active practice. I guess that's what practices are, is like you don't finish. It's not like you get it sorted and it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just recenter all the time in the here and now, because otherwise I'm going to be, sobbing graveside in my brain, because that's where I go.
Yeah. And I have justified laziness as rest in terms of how I want to spend my time, or how will I have wanted to spend my time.
Huh.
And I'm like, oh, no, I need to really make sure that I am resting when I'm resting, and that I'm
active resting, active things that aren't rest.
Yeah, or active laziness, right? Like,
yeah.
Let me actively procrastinate,
I see what you mean. I know those things where, like, reminding yourself to make a decision about how you spend your time versus just letting it sort of
pass.
Yeah.
Right. I will be lazy, but I'm going to commit to being lazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rather than half-assed, like responding to emails for hours on a Sunday.
Exactly.
When I could be doing something fun or fully being a sloth.
Sure. And if you fully commit to being the sloth, then
I know.
Maybe you'll have more time and more energy to be, whatever.
I feel completely that way.
Something that comes up in the book that was maybe the biggest revelation of my life is that Chutes and Ladders really prepares you for life.
Classic Jason.
Classic Jason, quoting me back to myself and me thinking I'm so funny. Classic Jason.
That is so funny. I know, it's so funny. I think Chutes and Ladders prepares you for so many things, the ups and downs of life, and also the shame of it. Because in my edition of it, one of the shoots is this, like, obviously greedy little kid eating a bucket of unripe apples. And then, like, she has the runs or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't show you that at the bottom, but like,
but we
know that's the implication.
Yeah.
And I just like that game where you're like, you're bad. Like, you're bad and you'll pay.
The high highs and the low lows.
Yeah. And what did you do to get there? What stupid ass thing could you have done differently?
When did you have that revelation? That you were like, oh my God, this is life. Yeah.
There are things I write down over the years that like occur to me, and I just keep them in case they're useful. And that image of the little girl with the bucket of green apples,
oh my God.
It has loomed as this like punitive image like throughout my life. It's one of those guiding principles of like, you don't want to be that. You're going to be on the shitter all night because you were a greedy little bitch.
And with those genes.
Oh my God.
For you, it doesn't need to be a bucket of apples. It could be, a thimble of whole milk.
Oh my God, right? I'm going to be on the shitter anyway. It's so true. Greedy little bitch with your thimble of whole milk.
I know.
You put it in your iced coffee like a whore.
Oh my God. Have you found anything good on Buy Nothing?
Oh my God.
Here I am asking you genuine questions.
No, you're such a liar. That is so not a genuine question. That is a question completely designed to make me laugh.
I feel seen. I feel so seen.
So, if you haven't read Wreck, Rocky spends a lot of time on Buy Nothing, mostly just to make herself laugh, and she and her kids text each other photos of things from Buy Nothing, which is, of course, what we do in my family.
Yeah.
Where we're like, you need this? It'll just be like
Dude,
literally
half a watermelon.
half a watermelon. Those are all real things. There was somebody giving away a massive Ziploc that had 2 frozen chicken carcasses in it. And there's a photo, and they've been frozen in that bag. So in the photo, it's just this gross Ziploc, and all you see is like ice crystals. And then there's like a thing that's like, make stock, like our loss, your gain, whatever like crazy shit people say to where you're like, maybe I need that.
What about
But
non-food stuff?
A lot of people
food.
wanted it. There's a lot of food. And it makes you realize that people are even thriftier than I am, which is crazy to imagine. And that there really is this like community that's really committed to an absence of waste. But sometimes, oh my God, it makes me laugh so hard. I mean, Buy Nothing is one thing. And also Facebook Marketplace. This guy was selling last winter a colored pencil drawing of Elf, of like Elf from the movie Elf, like the Will Ferrell character. A colored pencil drawing, but he'd started it, when you're not an artist, so you started in the wrong part of the page, so it like drazzles off, like the bottom
The whole
of the
thing
page
doesn't quite
comes
fit.
too soon.
Yeah.
And he was selling it for $15. And I was like, I am buying that and giving it to Ben for Christmas. Ben's my son. And so I reached out to him and he was like, sorry, no, I'm not going to put it in the mail, but you could come get it. And he lived like an hour and 40 minutes from me. And I was like, I'm not committed to the bit. I can't commit to that bit. It is too heavy a lift. But I left it. I was like, oh, excuse me, Mr. Particular, with your elf drawing for $15. Like, can't put it in the mail. It can't be put in the mail.
I have posted things for free on Facebook Marketplace.
Have you rued the day?
I did it one time. And
Did you spend all day waiting for people to come and they never came?
Not only that, but the amount of people that reach out to you, I got hundreds, and I'm not kidding, hundreds of messages. So anytime I've ever done it since, I like at least put $10 or whatever.
But even with that, you will spend your life waiting for people to come, and they don't come, and they don't tell you they're not coming. I stopped posting on Facebook on the free giveaway site because it was making me like filled with hatred of humankind.
Yeah, and you have that enough of that.
I was like, I'm just trying to give you a brand new mattress. Like, why is this turning into a nightmare?
Yes, please come pick it up. In fact, I had this one girl come and get something. I think it was a bed or a mattress. And I was like, I have so many other things that people are being wishy-washy about or not coming. I was like, do you want to come see what they are? She was like, kind of. I'm furnishing a place. And I was like, come in, please take this stuff. And I gave her a chair. I gave her a this.
Oh my God, you must have been so happy.
Yes,
she must
I
have
was.
been psyched.
And yeah, she didn't pay for it. I was just like, take it. Please just take it.
I know. I understand how you would put a little. Also, if you give it away, then there's a whole subset of people who won't even look at it. So if you charge $5 for it, it's like giving it away. But then this group that is like, I'm not the kind of person who gets a free thing.
Right.
Will be like, but I will pay $5 for a marble like armoire.
Right. For a very fancy, very not used mattress.
Yeah. I really love looking at it. And now, because I wrote about it, somebody sent me a link. There's an Instagram that's like best of.
Yeah.
And it is so bizarre.
That sounds
and
like Zillow
so
Gone
good.
Wild. Are you?
I'm writing down Zillow Gone Wild, which I have never looked at.
Oh my God, Catherine.
I love stuff like this. This just makes me love the internet. I just love the internet for it. I'm so easily entertained, and that kind of thing, Zillow Gone Wild, of like people posting like, I mean, I've seen excerpts, I'm sure, from that, but someone will send me something that's like, look at every slide in this of this house for sale.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there'll be just like a guy like naked in a Barbie themed bedroom, and you're like, oh my God.
The internet. What a place.
What a place.
Can't live with it. Can't live without it.
Yeah, I know. And obviously, I mean, I appreciate you invoking that, because a lot of Rocky's trouble is the internet.
Yeah. Before we get to that.
Okay. No. Yes.
Because you said something about thrifting and how no one loves thrifting more than you, or people, you see that people love thrifting more than you by looking at Facebook Marketplace. There's something that comes up in the book about how charming it is as a parent to see what your kids like hold on to in adulthood.
Yeah.
Things like getting the fancy organic olive oil that they had when they were growing up, or thrifting, or the nice sheets, or, whatever that is. Are there things like that for you that you remember that like your parents did that you're like, oh, that has held on in my whole life?
Totally. I mean, yes. And also, just to be clear, like, however overbearing Rocky is, where she's like, I'm sorry, you eat lamb? Like, we don't eat lamb as a family. My parents have been judgmental. There is nothing too small I do different from them to judge. They will be like, what the fuck kind of orange juice is this? We get Tropicana. Like, what is that? And I'm like, I got it at the Whole Foods. Like, I don't know. And they're like gravely disappointed. I have strayed from the family culture. We are a Tropicana family. Every brand of every single thing, unless you can convert them. And some things you can, where like, I was like, I know we like, the whatever Land O'Lakes butter, but now I'm using like Kate's, from Vermont, and now they use that. So those are your choices. Be judged to death, or they're like, I tried to get my parents to switch to the kind of sponge that has a scrubby thing on the back. A bridge too far.
Those are so helpful.
No, and they don't like to see it in my house.
Oh.
What is that?
It's offensive to the family culture.
Culture.
That's the phrase that you use, and I really
sponge.
love that. The family culture.
And you know it when you see it, right? But you don't know it when you're growing up, because it's invisible to you.
Right.
Because you think that's everybody. It's like when you first sleep over at someone's house and you're like, wait, what? Every minute you're like, what? Wait, what? You do this, you do that, you use this kind of toothpaste, this, that, your house smells like this, your dad does that, like your mom comes out in a bathrobe, like, wah! That mind blown of like other people's otherness.
Yeah.
And it is so hard to take.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, it's really exciting. And then I feel like there's something about young adulthood. My kids are just in this moment of the small flex, and it just looks like that. Like the lamb thing was verbatim from our lives, of just our son coming home and being like, hey, guess what? I know you're going to take this hard, but I kind of like lamb. And I was like, no, son of mine. Their father like left the room. I mean, it was so hilarious. Like we were like, oh, okay. And instead, really what I feel like is like, oh my God, how have I created a scenario where someone needs to come out with to us as like a person who eats lamb? You could tell he'd like rehearsed it in his head.
Oh my God. Well, next time you're in town, there's a place that happens to make a very good lamb. And I'm not a big lamb person, but it's very good.
Do you think it would convert me?
I don't know about convert, but you would enjoy that meal. That's
really?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. For that, I'll come back.
Just for that. Just for the lamb. That scene reminded me of something that happened literally just a couple weeks ago with Franklin, my husband, and his mom, because he recently became a vegetarian. This past Thanksgiving became a vegetarian and was talking about it with his mom. And she literally did that big fat Greek wedding thing where she said, even chicken?
Oh my God. No. Chicken
Like,
is just no.
We were all like, yes. And why did you just basically quote Big Fat Greek Wedding? Like, literally, Franklin's stepdad said, oh, I'll make lamb. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what just happened. That was so weird. Even chicken?
Even chicken.
Yes, Randy, even chicken.
Chicken. God.
Speaking of, is there a difference between spatchcocking and butterflying?
Well, yeah.
Really?
Butterflying, yeah. Oh, maybe no. I was going to say that butterflying is the thing you do to lamb.
Oh.
Where you, like a leg of lamb, you butterfly it. But it's really similar where you take the bone out and open it out.
Right. So maybe it's specific to the creature.
Maybe. And spatchcocking, you're not deboning it all together. You're just taking out the backbone so you can flatten it.
Oh. And butterflying, it's
Butterflying,
boneless.
it ends up boneless.
Interesting.
And opened out like a book.
Yeah. See, I had a feeling I would learn something. This is why I asked the question. Speaking of, is there a difference, or what's the difference between slit and slot?
I thought about this, having written about it. Both words make me a little uncomfortable and seem very like vagina-y. Yes, slit and slot. A slot definitely suggests you're putting something into it.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have a slot that nothing goes into. That's the premise of a slot. A coin is going in. Or...
I wonder, is a slot like man-made? Or like a slot is intentional and a slit is like you're breaking something, right? You're like slitting open.
No, I don't think so. I think you could slit something fully on purpose. But I know seamstress terms. That's a sewing term.
Got it.
You would like cut a series of slits in a piece of fabric. But you wouldn't like then shove a quarter into one of them. Mm-hmm. Like a slot, something's going in there. A slit is not like that.
No. Okay.
Glad I could.
Thank you.
Clear that up.
I cut you off when you were you were about to go down an internet rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
And talking about Rocky and how the internet is sort of the thing that is challenging to her.
Yeah. I mean, she has the thing that I have, not coincidentally. A feeling that way that a phone in your hand can be like a black hole, that it can... I can surface from looking at my phone the way you come out of a movie during the day and you're like, oh, it's like still the world.
It's light out.
Light out.
Yeah.
The world is here. So she can be very, it's like obviously a source of pleasure for her. She texts with her kids a lot and they send each other like funny things. And she looks at recipes that, as people do, and looks at Buy Nothing, whatever. And then it's also this place she turns to, partly her patient portal is online. And you and I'm sure could talk at great length about the patient portal. I know.
And so that because it had such a huge presence in the book, I did take credit for it.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes total sense that you would. It's just such a weird world. Like I'm an impatient person, so I love, on the one hand, like the immediacy of a patient portal. Like, thank God you're not waiting for a doctor to call you like in 3 weeks when he thinks to. Like, it's just going to show up and you're going to get the information. It's not going to be digested for you. And then obviously the flip side of that is this weird immediacy as a layperson to what often is incredibly technical information. So you have this access to it, but you don't really know what it means. And no one is saying to you like, oh, it's, you know what? I know it looks like XYZ, but it's okay. Because you're just looking at numbers and a graph, or you're looking at, you know, something a pathologist has written without ever talking to or seeing you. And they're like, oh, I don't know, looks like she needs a lobotomy. And you're like, oh my God.
Okay.
I'll schedule.
How long is the referral process?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the internet, you know, for Rocky, the internet is that there's an accident in the book that she becomes obsessed with, and it's the police where she marinates in that obsession. It's like it's like this guilty, obsessive, time-consuming thing she does, which is, you know, this kid has died who her kids grew up knowing, not somebody close to them, but the proximity for her of like kids, young people die is so, it's so her, the thing she can't look away from because she's so superstitious. Like she refuses to look away from it. But instead of not looking away from it, she becomes completely obsessed with it. So she trolls through their social media feed. She figures out when this funeral is. She looks constantly for signs to see how this other mother, her parallel life, you know, there but for the grace of God, go I, mother. How is this person processing this unfathomable grief?
Yeah.
And she's doing it all online. And I just relate really intensely to that kind of obsessive behavior.
You know, you putting that in the book and also just the amount that you talk about anxiety is part of why I think this book is so much more relatable than Sandwich. There is I think the whole population goes through grief and some semblance of anxiety. 50% of the population goes through menopause. And so feeling seen, we all have those obsessive rabbit holes online, regardless of what the circumstances are. But I think anytime a young person dies, everyone wants to either learn more about it or learn how it happened, or because there is that obsession of, can it happen to me?
Yeah. And
You
can I
know.
learn enough so that I can be like, nah, that probably couldn't happen to me.
Yeah.
Like that. I think you're so right. It's funny when you say that. Yeah, just that. I think that is so much what the book's about is Rocky being like, how much am I going to lose? How's it going to happen? Do I already know how it's going to happen?
Yeah.
And I really feel that, like, can you learn enough about something to be like, that couldn't happen to us?
Yeah.
And like usually really no, or you're kidding yourself.
And I think really just seeing it on the page and not feeling alone in our sort of anxious rabbit holes is important. It's great to remember that we are all sort of in this together.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it.
No, but seriously, like you're probably writing this in a vacuum, and it feels like I know you know that you're not in it alone, but it probably feels like you are. Rocky might feel like she's in it alone, and anyway, it was refreshing for me. Something I want to put a pin in.
Yeah.
In addition to that, as a concept, the not feeling alone in our grief and anxiety, I want to talk about a long-term marriage and learning more about each other, because that is something else that comes up in the book. But before we do that, Sandwich was one of my favorite books of the year last year.
Thank
I
you,
have two copies
Jason.
in my house. I have one in my office and one on the bookcase in our dining area. I don't know why. I don't need two copies of the book, but I want them.
Thank you.
I was so excited to read Rec, and I didn't know what it was about. I don't read blurbs. I don't read anything. And I might be the only person that you talk to who lost a young person in his life to a train accident.
Sorry.
Who was like a younger brother to me. We grew up together.
I'm sorry, Jason.
And he was 19. And it was so cathartic for me to be a fly on the wall with this family that I love so much and laugh and feel not seen, but like there was there was camaraderie, and it's been almost 20 years at this point, so I guess like 15 something years, but so it's thankfully I was able to read it and not grieve.
Yeah.
But it was, I imagine most people who pick it up, statistically, it's not a young person dying of cancer or getting in a car accident, right? It is something that is sort of out of the realm of possibilities. But that wasn't true for me, which is fascinating in its own way.
Yeah.
It was a nice reminder to me, because this is how I have thought about it so much moving forward after that time 15 years ago. It doesn't get worse. That was sort of the worst. A 19-year-old getting hit by a train who you love dearly, who you're a pallbearer at their funeral, who you see their mother mourning. Right, like it's so when you sort of think about other things in life, it really puts it in perspective. And I think I needed that reminder for me in my life in this moment right now. So I just wanted to share all of that with you.
Thank you for that. I mean, I think, not to be like corny and gross and like opportunistic about silver lining possibilities, but I do think like those are the experiences that make us like empathetic, compassionate people.
Yeah.
Like there is something about experiencing that full-bodied kind of grief that makes you move through the world as a person who doesn't say like, oh, I can't imagine how you feel. It's like, oh yeah, oh, I can imagine it.
Yeah.
I have felt it. I'm imagining it right now. Like the way that puts you into a certain kind of presence with people that is a gift, even if it's a really hard one.
Totally. And I think reading about it was a nice reminder of that.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. So back to my pin of a long-term marriage. There's this moment where, it's discussed that Rocky and her husband have been together for 35 years and they're still getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And I think that that's such an important thing to talk about, because when Franklin and I got married, we were given a piece of advice that we are going to grow and change as people, and we need to learn how to grow and change with each other.
Yeah.
And we're together almost 12 years now, and we're sort of realizing,
what that means.
We're going to grow and change like separately, but we also need to like get on the same page and learn how to do this dance together and take these dance classes together.
Yes.
And I was watching Love is Blind UK last night, of course. And this couple that I'm obsessed with, one said to the other, I hope this is who we are forever. And we're always making each other laugh, and we're always this way. And we always look back and this is us. And I was like, no, you're going to grow and change. You're not going to be the same.
Yeah. I know. And I know it. And you hang on, or you decide that actually you're constraining each other and you don't you don't hang on.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of, it takes so much nimbleness to stay in a long relationship. Like it's funny, sandwich, somebody just said to me at an event, I was at an event at a library at 2 p.m. This was 2 days ago on the Cape. Library at 2 p.m. means everyone is going to be over the age of 70. And this, in fact, was true. There were like 65, 70 and up-year-olds, which is going to be a lively situation, is all I can say. I look at that audience and I'm like, I am going to get it. And I usually do. And I love it. And this woman said to me, and Michael is in the audience. Michael's my husband. Mm-hmm. This woman says to me, why is Rocky such a bitch to Nick? And Michael laughed out loud, which I fucking love him for so much. He is the best. He's such a good sport. And I was like, oh, part of Rocky's character arc in Sandwich, it's a small character arc. Like, she learns you can buy sandwiches. Like, that's part of it. There are very small things that happen. Some secrets are revealed. And one of the things she needs to do, and obviously it's compressed into a week because it's a novel, is see Nick as a person separate from her. That is a thing the book forces her to do. So at the beginning, Nick is this like kind of irritating but very useful person, right? Both of those things are about what he is for Rocky.
Yeah.
And she has to understand that he is actually this completely whole independent self from her. And that is very difficult. And that, like, the way that secrets are revealed at the end of that book, that is her process of being like, oh, here's this person who has been useful to me and difficult for me, and in fact is not really about me. Mm-hmm. Like, he's this separate person. Woo! Not easy.
How long have you and Michael been together?
35 years.
Yeah. If you had to give someone a piece of advice, what would it be?
God. I mean, I really feel this is so strange. Because I'm not going to say any of the things I'm really bad at, like compromising, which I think is very important and I'm not great at.
Yeah.
I think spending time together doing fun stuff, weirdly, I think is so important. And it's like kind of the thing that I think drops away. And I don't mean having sex, because there's a lot of pressure on couples to have sex, even during difficult times in a life. And that is sometimes possible, sometimes not possible. And like sex is an important part of a relationship, whatever, if it is. But I just mean fun stuff that's like common shared interests where you make time to do fun stuff together, because otherwise it's like you're either running a small and dull business or you're like parents together, if you have kids, which is just its own thing. Or I don't know, where that thing where like you would like leave the house to like do something fun with friends. But like, I just think it's really important to do fun stuff together. Like actually fun things that you would be like, that sounds fun. Like where the kids will text us, you know, we have a family group chat, obviously, as families do. And the kids will be like, what'd you guys do this weekend? And I'll be like, oh, my dad and I played tennis and then we blah, blah, blah. And the kids will write, that sounds fun. And I think, it was really fun.
Dad and I played tennis and now I'm icing my knee.
I know, right? I'm icing my knee. I got like boned on the kitchen island, whatever. I don't share all of it. Some of it's fun in a private way, but I don't know. Just that, I guess.
I love that.
What would you? 12 years. I mean, grow and change is your advice, which is really good.
Yeah. Well,
but give each other the space.
Well, and what's so interesting, and I think really adapting that advice is Um, don't learn the dance steps separately. Learn, take a class together. You're going to do them differently, but you'll at least learn the same dance.
I really like that.
You know?
I mean, it's a great metaphor because it also lends itself to other metaphors of like, you won't have to look for someone who knows the dance.
Totally. And it's like, and listen, sure, sometimes you'll step on someone's foot and sometimes they're going to move the wrong way. But like at the end of the day, it's at least the same song that you're dancing to.
Oh my God.
You know, but if you're taking different classes to come to like, so that has been a really useful metaphor for me as we're sort of, you know, going on more years. But also just like not being afraid to change and not being afraid to listen and be patient. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Self-reflection is hard. In the book, Rocky is writing a pitch as for a writing project for something to find meaning in small moments. Is there anything that's happened recently that's a small moment that you have found meaning in?
Oh my God. I mean, always, truly, that is my MO. I really do.
You put the MO in moments.
Oh my God. That's so good. That's really good.
Mine are home moments.
Home moments. Home moments. I know, it's better than like memo moments. I mean, truly, like, I have this. Michael was just making fun of me. We were having dinner with some people we don't know very well last night. And somehow, we got to talking about this habit I have where, like, you know, I have like horrible insomnia. And weirdly, sometimes it's a time that I really reflect on how lucky I am because I'm comfortable and I'm essentially safe in this moment, and I have this person I love in bed, and usually the cats are there, and I just like lie there and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so lucky. But then instead of just lying there feeling that, I say out loud, don't you feel so cozy and lucky? I say to a sleeping person. And he was telling these people this, and it was so hilarious to me. And also I was like, okay, mental note. And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, I totally do. And like, let's talk about that in the morning. It's like, that is so fair. Because like, I think Michael doesn't feel that lucky to sleep with a person who's like chit-chatty at literally 3:30 in the morning.
But you know what?
Don't you feel so cozy and
But you're not
lucky?
burping.
Never. Boom! Full circle.
But
We
you're
did
not
it.
burping.
1 hour.
I adore you so much. Everyone,
I love
go get
you.
your copy
Thank
of
you.
Wreck. Out now wherever you get your books.
Just gay weird time.
Rachel Runya Katz, welcome to Gay's Reading.
Thank you.
And my fabulous guest gay reader today.
Very
Of course,
honored.
I use the term gay as fluidly and flexibly as a 1985 gay man.
Yes. I
Not-
am honored to be included in the umbrella.
Yes, for me it is an umbrella term. We're all family together.
Mhm.
I'm obsessed with your beautifully queer bookshelf behind you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did a rainbow. If you read enough romance, and then also like the lit fic I have is mostly more like the upmarket, like they try to be colorful. You get to do this.
It is a testament to what a reader you are.
I am a big reader. Yes.
And this is why I love doing this series, because I love hearing what other people are reading. I've only somewhat recently realized that I have adult ADHD. And when people have bookshelves behind them, it is on fire because I'm like, okay, I see Chain Gang All-Stars. I see, what is that? A Zadie Smith. I see Like, oh,
Oh my
this is
gosh,
not
should I
good.
try to blur it? Is it gonna be? Is it gonna?
No, we're fine. I'm like obsessed with looking and seeing what you have, and I want to ask about them. I can only guess that one of those oranges is homegoing. Anyway, that's all I got. Rachel, what are you reading?
I would say so. The most recent things I've read and like really loved within romance that are already out that you can read are The View Was Exhausting by Michaela Clements and Anjali Datta. That one is so it's written by a married couple. Every time I like see that a married couple co-writes books, I'm just like, literally how I feel like sometimes I want to die when I'm writing my own book. I'm like, would I feel like I want to kill you? If
And
it
you're
was
arguing
my
with
partner?
yourself.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. So huge props to those two. And they've also written a horror together that I'll need to read. I haven't yet. But I was obsessed with it. It was a celebrity romance with a British Indian actress she's made it in Hollywood. So she like primarily, I think, lives in the US, but it's following her like jet setting all around with her model fake boyfriend who she struck up a friendship by them early in both of their careers, like needing to pretend to date to save their reputations. And of course, like it turns out they fall in love. But it just has such a wonderfully like lush setting while also feeling incredibly cynical and everybody's an asshole to each other at different points in a way I just love. Like I ate it up. Like one of my good friends, Ava Wilder, wrote How to Fake It in Hollywood, which was like maybe one of my reigning queens of celebrity romance, and this I think has a really similar sensibility, and so I really enjoyed it. And then I would say I
have a follow-up question.
Okay.
What is it about the cynical assholes that like excites you?
I think especially if you're going to be in a backdrop of something like so heavily draped in like luxury that they're in Saint-Tropez, like they're in Paris, like the yachts, they're diving off the back of yachts, like all of that. I think if I want to pretend that all these people are like, there's no cost to that, I think I would not enjoy reading it. I think I'm somewhat of a cynical optimist or an optimistic cynic. I don't know the right way to put it, but I tend to do better when there's something I can really bite into. I like my characters al dente. I don't want it to feel like it's just like mushy goodness. And I get why people are drawn to that. But for me, like the happy ever after is much more satisfying if people are like fuck ups in different ways along the way.
It's so funny that you use the word like cynical optimist because I call myself a realistic optimist.
Okay.
And I think that I would argue that that's maybe the same.
It's probably the same.
Because I think as humans, we're just cynical, or like real life can be so hard that like it just beats you up a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so there is that in terms of reality. There's the juxtaposition of the sort of opulence and the behavior and self-awareness. I totally get that.
Yeah, I really loved it.
Okay, now you can carry on.
Yes, sorry. The other one, similar theme. I think that everybody was an asshole in a way I really liked. Girl Next Door by Rachel Meredith. I think it's my favorite debut I read this year. I read it for a blurb. And the premise is this like main character, MC. She is like a freelance journalist for something that feels like Vice vibes. I don't know. And they do some pop culture stuff, but they like want to have a gotcha. And there's this new sapphic romance that has been a runaway bestseller. Everybody's obsessed with it. And the author is like a total recluse, used a pen name. I'm so sorry for my cat.
I'm obsessed.
The author like used a pen name and hasn't shown her face anywhere. And her MC, the main character, her best friend also is like an editor at this place. And he reads the book and is, dude, this is written by your next door neighbor about you. I know it's about you. Like the initials are all the same. And I know what happened senior year of high school, all this. And so MC has to go back to her hometown to try to figure out if she can like get this scoop on Nora, the neighbor who like totally wrote this best-selling sapphic romance about her. And I loved it so much. She has a complicated relationship with her brother. They're like all mean to each other because they're all dealing with their own stuff in a way that I just like really like. I also think the chutzpah of the author to have there be a little bit of a meta conversation about the ways in which readers can be particularly invasive to queer authors. Like, I love that. I love that she had that in there. Oh my God, I was obsessed with that book.
Can you unpack that a little bit?
Oh yeah,
The
queer
invasiveness. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I actually at one point in time, I'm pretty sure Alexandria Bellafleur posted a story that I'm probably going to misquote. I'm not going to get the exact wording right,
Sure.
but I really appreciated it. Was that she was saying, like, so she wrote Written in the Stars, which is like one of the earlier trad pubbed sapphic romance in the illustrated cover area or era, excuse me. And she said something like, she recognizes that for some people who are queer readers, they feel as though like their dating pools are small. And especially if you're in a place that isn't very queer or isn't very open and can like confuse the authors as like part of their dating pool. Like that was like a part of how she had experienced it. So there was an obsession there. I also think that just like, I don't think Rachel Meredith got all so deep into the nitty gritty, but like my experience of it is when you're writing from like a marginalized background, I think for similar reasons to what Alexandria was saying, it's people are looking like they're so desperate for this kind of representation, understandably, but then that can create like expectations that aren't really possible. If you
or
have
expectations
never,
of them personally.
yes, of them
Yeah.
personally, like you can expect an author to be perfect in ways that no human is. You can
Yeah.
expect that an author is like showing all of their opinions via their characters, which is not like the fact that it's in a book does not mean you believe it or condone it. You also might have written the book a long time ago. Like there's a lot of things there. And I think if you're like starved of representation and like you finally get your hands on my debut, which has a Black, Jewish, bisexual woman, and you read it and you just don't relate to her very much, your reaction might be like, this is bad and I have been wronged or slighted by this author for not having this character be literally me, if that makes sense, or have my like literal experiences. And I think it's a completely understandable feeling, but gets misplaced onto authors because the problem is not that I didn't write your experience. I'm not you. It's a fictional character. It's not even totally my experience.
Yeah.
The problem is that the landscape isn't like rich enough in these marginalized voices for you to find something that more closely mirrors your experience. But then as a queer author or whatever like intersectional marginalizations you may be writing from, the brunt of that gets put onto you sometimes by readers. And I've definitely had like inappropriate or invasive DMs.
That's unfortunately not surprising. And there's something so, it's not dissimilar from, I think, like talk show hosts and folks who are on TV shows, because those faces are in your home regularly. There is this parasocial relationship that the audiences feel like they have with those people versus a movie star, right? Where you need to leave your house to go see them. I feel like with a lot of authors in present day, what a weird way to say it, because of social media, because you're like consuming the content of these authors, they're maybe replying to DMs, you're reading their words in bed. It's such an intimate experience that they probably feel like they know you, like they own the story, like it's a piece of them, like it supported them through a difficult time, right? So there is this like weird forced level of intimacy too that's also not real.
Yeah. I don't know y'all don't know me, and that's okay. But I do think it is. Yeah, I do think it just creates this sort of tension that I think exists for all authors, and particularly of romance, because I think people can feel like there's something more intimate there. And there's probably like layers of misogyny too, of people have an assumption that like you've written about yourself as opposed to like fiction. But I do think that it just often heightened for queer authors. And I'm not like, I know queer authors who've had like much more intense experiences than I have. So yeah, I felt like it rang really true to me in that book.
Yeah. I obviously have heard of things like this happening. I've never heard it presented in that way before or had a space to chat about it a little bit more. So thank you for unpacking that more for me. when I heard about Isn't It Obvious, I needed it yesterday. So would you tell the people what your elevator pitch is?
Yeah. So I had not seen You've Got Mail when I wrote this, but people use You've Got Mail as like a shorthand for the like hidden identity in love over emails
100%.
situation.
Yes.
So when we say it's You've Got Mail, like that, and I love a story like that. So that's absolutely the vibe. So it is that it's between a podcaster, Yael, and her producer. And so her podcast persona is named Elle. And she hires this producer, and she gets his professional resume. And so his name is Kevin there, and they're talking there. They fall in love in that way. At the same time, Yael, in real life, gets in an argument with her roommate, Charlie's one-night stand, who sneaks out of her window, and his name is Ravi. What she doesn't know is that Ravi is actually his legal middle name. And he has always gone by that. It's explained why later. But Kevin was on his resume. And then he doesn't know her name because it's a pseudonym. And she is a high school librarian who runs a queer book club. And he volunteers at that book club. So that's why they have to keep seeing each other in person. And then online, obviously, because of their professional relationship.
Yeah. And as always, chaos ensues.
Yeah.
Because that's, of course, what happens. But you're right. It is not, You've Got Mail is a placeholder for tropes, for a sort of story. You've Got Mail in and of itself is adapted from another movie called The Shop Around the Corner, which is adapted from a Turkish short story.
And there's also like Cyrano before that. There's, like,
exactly. There's so many.
But I think it's honestly, it's just like easier to say. Like you've communicated the vibe when you're like,
exactly.
You've got
And for me, my point really is that I love that kind of story. Really.
Yes, for me, my You've Got Mail is a Cinderella story with Hilary Duff and Chad Michael Murray. That's in my head, that's what epistolary romance is. You know what I mean?
Yes. 100%. Right. You can literally say it's the same thing.
Yes.
Right. Because it's similar styles and tropes. How, you said you hadn't seen You've Got Mail when you started writing this. Have you since?
I have. Yeah. I've watched it now. I did not like it, but that's okay. I'm allowed to. I think it's very charming. And like, I'm a huge When Harry Met Sally fan. So I actually really like Nora Ephron's like point of view. I like her directorial eye, all of that. I think I watched it like this summer. So I have like in my head, we're like in a vibe where billionaires are like ruining our lives. And I just couldn't really get there with the male protagonist in it. Like he just doesn't work for me. And I thought that Meg Ryan was delightful and I wanted the world for her. And he was an evil rich man.
Yeah.
No, the movie.
It's so interesting thinking about context and how much context matters in art and all kinds of art. I had a really terrific conversation with the author Bianca Bosker. She's also a journalist and wrote a book about the art world. It's nonfiction. And she was saying that a painting in an art gallery on a white wall with nothing else around it, you have expectations, and because of the context, you can have the exact same painting in a pile at a thrift store, and you have different sort of expectations for that, right? And yet it could still either be worth $1 bajillion or $6, and it doesn't matter. And I don't know that we like look at movies as time capsules because they like literally capture wardrobe and a vibe and a mood, and so it's easier to quote unquote forgive something like that because you're like, oh, this is clearly in the 90s.
Yeah.
But you still are allowed to contextualize it with
I
just find it very interesting.
Yeah, it's just hard. I think it's hard to get into like right now, and I'm sure if I had watched it at a very different period of time, my experience of it would have been totally different. But yeah, so I was afraid to watch it actually for that reason. I was worried I wouldn't like it, and then I would have to lie in interviews. So then I'm like, I'm not a very good liar, so I just have to be like, yeah, you didn't like it.
I actually find it more interesting that you didn't. And it's, as a person who loves the movie, to watch it now and to understand why it doesn't work and why it's not problematic. Like, obviously it is problematic, but like why it is okay for me to not be cool with it today and still love it, right?
Well,
like to hold both things.
I'm very against moralizing yourself based on the media you can consume. Obviously, there's like lines past which if you're out here doing like Mein Kampf, I'm not going to be like, that's fine. But I think that the fact that it has, in my opinion, some not great class politics and honestly gender politics by virtue of like how much you're supposed to forgive this man, like that doesn't mean like anybody's bad for watching it, nor does it even necessarily mean it's a bad movie. But yeah, it didn't work for me in consuming it.
And I think that's my point. Like, I find it actually so interesting to talk about because it's cool that I loved it. And it's also cool that contextually right now I can also not like it. And that's just so.
And that both can be true.
Yeah. And I find that really interesting.
Yes.
And
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I kind of feel that way about She's the Man, which is like one of my favorite like 2000s teen rom-coms, because it's like there's actually a bit about it in my debut, but I think like I was attached to it in such a specific way. And actually I think watching it as a kid, I think my experience of it was like maybe queer. There's this guy who like falls in love with somebody who's a girl and a guy at the same time, like back and forth. And I don't know. I don't think you can realistically read it as he like had no possible feelings for Viola as Sebastian, because otherwise it's like you've met Viola like twice. There's that, and there's like this aspect of like gender fluidity and all of that. But also it is like a very straight and transphobic movie. Like it is all of these things. And like I think that's a really fun one to think about for those ones.
And it's again like a sort of further layer. And this is so weird that we're talking about She's the Man. I literally was talking about it last week. But it's an adaptation of Twelfth Night by Shakespeare.
Yes, yeah.
So there's like that added complicated layer of the history of it. But I was in conversation with Mona Awad last week, who's was talking about her next project being a pseudo adaptation of Twelfth Night, and someone mentioned She's the Man.
I would love to read that.
And I know I'm already intrigued.
Yeah.
But she's writing like a Twelfth Night love story, which is fascinating.
That sounds amazing. I'm so excited.
But but like She's the Man came up, and she was like, "Oh, I should watch that." And I was like, "No, you should not watch that."
Yeah. After you're done. You can watch it after you're done and then go on interviews like this one and have to be like, yeah, I didn't like that. That's my advice. This is how you be an author, actually.
So funny. What I was gonna say is that what is so fun about Isn't It Obvious is this is like such a weird thing to say, but like it recontextualizes my love of the tropes and concepts of You've Got Mail in a contemporary and queer and exciting way, and allowed me to fall in love with this quote unquote same story in a brand new way. And that's really cool.
Oh, but thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So everybody go get your copy of Isn't It Obvious by Rachel Runya Katz. Thank you for being my guest gay reader today.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Because everyone loves to hear author lore. You said you pushed through so many books or read through so many books as a kid. That's how you ended up at YA romance. What was like that first book that you remember reading pre-romance that you really fell in love with?
The Phantom Tollbooth. I was obsessed with that, and I would reread it like anytime I got sick. I would reread that for so long. I love that book. I actually ended up writing my college like admissions application essay about it.
This is the second time The Phantom Tollbooth has come up like in a few weeks as an important and transformative book, and I have not read it, and I need to. So.
Oh, you should. It's wonderful. It's really wonderful.
I can't wait. Again, thank you for being here. Congrats on the book. And have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Catherine, Rachel, thank you so much for being here. Everyone, again, go get your copies of Wreck and Isn't It Obvious out now wherever you get your books. And I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.